What's up, guys? Hey, it's Rob, your favorite South Texas realtor, and today we are talking about the great city of Floresville. I used to live in Floresville about 10 years ago with my wife when we were just starting to save up, so I know a lot about Floresville. That's where I started cutting my teeth in the real estate industry, so I'm really excited to go through and tour it today. We're going to tell you a bunch of the pros and some of the cons that I think you need to know about if you're looking at relocating to the Floresville area. So let's go and get after it. All right, so pro number one is the location. So it's about a 40-minute commute, sometimes 30 depending on traffic, but it's a straight shot down 181 from downtown San Antonio to get to Floresville. So it's a really good commute and it's not a whole lot of stop and go. Like pretty much once you get out of the downtown area of San Antonio, it's a straight shot, minimal stoplights. So you're ready to go. You get down there, you don't have to worry about traffic. So it's great. So we're going to break down a bunch of different categories today. We're going to talk about the housing. We're going to talk about the community. We're going to talk about the economy. We're going to talk about the education. And we're also going to talk about the outdoor life and then ultimately give you a conclusion of what I think about the city of Floresville. So let's touch on education. So there are 6 different campuses there in Floresville. You have early childhood, the middle school, elementary, high school, and an alternative school. Now, this year, the graduating class is right around 240, so that's what you can expect. I know that number's gone up and up. My wife actually graduated from Floresville. I'm not gonna tell you the year, but it's gone up a bunch since then. I think she was in the class of 140. I know she was honors, but anyways, when she graduated, that's how Floresville was, and you can see the growth over time. So total in Floresville, there's over 4,000 students going through the whole entire school system. And again, we touched on it earlier, it's growing every single year. Student ratio in the classrooms currently, according to the niche school ratings, is 17-1. So pretty good. National average, 17-1. So outside of Floresville North Elementary School, which kind of hits off the 181 and 775 area, kind of going closer to San Antonio. Everything else is pretty much located right there in the city of Floresville. I call the hub of town right there at 97 and 181 where it meets. That's where the high school is, and that's kind of the hub of where everything else is as well. You got the different schools there. You have the athletic venues. And then southwest, you have the elementary school, Floresville South. So overall, Floresville has a 92% graduation rate, 25 average score on the ACT, and 1120 on the SAT. Now, the niche school rating does give it a C, so be sure if you're going to be relocating to the area and you have kids that are going to be going through the school district, you dig into that a little bit more and find out just why they have that. Is it because of facilities, or is it because of teacher-student ratio, or is it whatever that is? Make sure if that's important to you, you dig into that a little bit more and find out why it is that C level. So let's touch on the economy. So Floresville is growing pretty immensely, but there's 2 kind of different sections of Floresville I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about the historic old downtown, which is cool. That's where the Wilson County Courthouse is at. They've got an old movie theater there, but it's really cool. Been there many times. It's a really cool small boutique movie theater. You've got the mom and pop boutique shops down there. There's some good restaurants. There's a coffee shop. So it's a really neat area. It kind of reminds me a lot of Back to the Future when they filmed it back in the day. So it's that kind of vibe. There's smaller lot sizes in that downtown area, and it's definitely segmented off. You have squared lots downtown and things like that. So Business 181 breaks off just north of town, and it veers down into the business district of Floresville. And that's where you'll find the Wilson County Courthouse, a bunch of mom and pop boutique shops. 181 takes you right through, and that's where more of your chains are. That's where you have the Walmart, the Starbucks, the McDonald's. You have the Tractor Supply. Those types of stores are right along that corridor, taking you down to Poth and then down further on south. So that's where you're going to see more of the chain restaurants, more of your department type stores is right along that 181 corridor. Floresville, back in the day, was known for mainly its agricultural, especially its peanuts. I mean, they host the Peanut Festival every single year, and there's a big peanut right outside of the front of the courthouse. But they've kind of gotten away from that a little bit since, more land has been developed, and since the Eagle Ford shale oil boom has been kind of coming up through that kind of area. Floresville is just on the northern part of that. But they've focused now has been more towards the service industry and also the Eagle Ford shale in that area. Now let's talk about my favorite thing, the outdoor life. So the best thing about Floresville, in my opinion, is the golf course. So you have River Bend, which is right there, and it's great. It's got a community. It's a really good development that they have there. The golf course is pretty decent. They really take good care of the greens, which I can appreciate, and they're really starting to build out the development around there. There's a restaurant right there called Lou's. It's great, pretty good food, great bar, and the outdoor seating is awesome. It overlooks this driving range. range. Actually, you get to hit balls into the water, which is really, really cool. But I try to get out to Riverbend as much as I can. There's several different parks in Floresville. You have Pecan Park, which is on the south end of town, and I think it's about a half-mile trail that kind of goes underneath the trees. It's really pretty, and I know a lot of people like to use that trail, and the kids can always play in the playgrounds that are right there. You have Floresville River Park. There's some baseball fields over there as well, and you also have a city swimming pool. So on those really hot days, so if you don't have a pool yourself or you need to cool off, that's a spot where you can do that. So the housing in Floresville has really come a long way, even in the last 9 years since I started in the real estate industry. Back then, you can get into the homes in the high 100s, maybe even the 200s, and it's gone up pretty significantly since then. Now, you can get some homes right there on the golf course in the high 200s, low 300s, and those are brand new homes. In the old school part of Floresville, kind of that downtown area, you can get some of the older homes that are built in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. You can get in those sometimes in the high 200s as well. So there can be deals out there. Now, when you get outside of the city limits, still considered Floresville, you get into your larger acreage tracts. So one of my favorite subdivisions is Abrego Lake, and they've got acre plus home sites out there, and those are homes in the 5, 6, 700,000. And then you have your ranches out in the certain parts around that surrounding area, going out towards more into the Wilson County area, but still near the city of Floresville. And yeah, 5, 10, 20 acres on up. And obviously those will be priced accordingly just due to their land size alone. So I'd be curious, is outdoor life pretty important to you as you look for a place to relocate to? I mean, I know a lot of times we get people coming in from either California or Illinois or Michigan or even New York or Washington State, and they're relocating here. They're like, hey, what's the outdoor life like there? So if golf's a big thing, they got you covered there. But I'd be curious, what's the number one thing you look for outside of maybe cost of living when you're relocating to a certain area? Leave me a comment below. I'd love to check it out, and it would really help out other people that are watching the video, and they can get an idea of what they can expect moving to the area. One of the cons is a pro, but it's kind of a con, is the weather. Look, it gets hot. It's hot really anywhere in South Texas, but Floresville, I feel like, usually runs a degree or two higher, and maybe it's just in my head. But man, when it gets to be July and August, even the first part of September, it's roasting. I mean, it's always in the hundreds, I feel like, and then heat indexes can push it to the 110, 115s. It's extremely hot. Blessing and a curse, because then when you get into October, November, December, pretty arid, and it feels good. That's the best time to go out and play golf at Riverbend and get out and enjoy that nice atmosphere. It's really nice. And then you can also see some of the trees starting to change color a little bit around that area. We got a bunch of oak trees out here, especially the beautiful live oak trees. Those are really great. And then post oaks, red oaks, and things like that. But the fall, to me, is my favorite time. And then obviously it does get a little chillier, obviously in the winter time. Every once in a while we'll have a snowfall event. It's not really likely. More so, we get a freezing rain event, usually like in February, maybe early March. But outside of that, it warms up pretty quickly in April, May, and then after that, you're bam, 90s in June, and then July 100s, and then there you go. So there's not a big nightlife. There's no huge dance clubs or things like that. It's more of a small country town. There are some local bars you can go to and kind of get that scene, if you will, but there's no really large scale nightlife or restaurant bars or things like that. If you're coming to Floresville, you either are at your house or at an outdoor kitchen at your house, or you're entertaining there, or you're going to other cities like San Antonio. So another con, I think, is while they do have a medical facility there, more often than not, you're gonna get sent to San Antonio if you have a major trauma or emergency, or you need some specialty type of care. So they do have a medical center there, but more than likely you're gonna get sent to San Antonio to seek further medical assistance. So leave a comment where you're watching this video from. Are you from a city, or are you more of a rural environment type person? Would you rather have an acre or 2 or 5? You know, how much land do you really need? Or are you just perfectly fine with the city lot right there in town? I'd be curious, leave a comment below. I always love to know where people are watching this from and what size land they're watching it on. A lot of times we'll get calls and texts from all over the country, and they want to say, hey, I need 5 acres, but really, do you need 5 acres? I have 3 and I can't even maintain the area around my house. So be careful what you want on the land size. So obviously overall, I think Floresville is great. I would give it a B on a grading scale. It's got a lot of good things going for it. I know the Economic Development Council is really pushing the envelope and brought in a bunch of the larger corporations and more chain stores or type of things like Golden Chick, Starbucks, Burger King, etc. So they're really pushing that needle northward on the development side, and there's a bunch of housing developments going in too. So you have that going on. Again, it lacks a little bit in that outdoor parks. There's not a whole lot of trails and things like that to go on if that's your thing. If you want like a really cool dining experience or a nightlife, you really got to go into San Antonio or a different city. San Antonio is the closest to be able to get that. So overall, I would give Floresville like a B. I used to live there, so I am a big fan of the area. It's got a lot of good things going for it, but you really don't have any kind of nightlife at all or any kind of really high-end restaurants. For those type of things, you're gonna have to go into San Antonio. So just know it's a great place to live and be for entertainment and things like that. You're gonna have to go somewhere else. They just don't have those offerings there in Floresville. So I really hope you found this helpful and you got a little bit more information of what it is like to be in the Floresville area. Hey, if you have any questions at all, if you're either in San Antonio and you're looking to maybe relocate to the Floresville area or coming in from outside of the area, we would love to help. Shoot me a DM, send me a text or an email, and even better, let's hop on a Zoom call together. We'll see what your needs are because everybody is different. Timelines are all different. So let's talk and see how we can help you when you're looking to relocate to the South Texas area. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. We'll have new videos every single week all about the South Texas area.